This is the English sound video regarding the content that I made in one of the Danish videos. And in that video, I talked about the brain and unhealed trauma. If you have unhealed trauma, your brain is affected. That's regarding instincts, survival mode, and how you process information. After being in a narcissistic relationship, you may have brain fog and a trauma bond. That's not the same as a childhood trauma, and so on. Being in a survival mode does affect the brain. Maybe it's a little bit technical in this sound video. Please bear with me. It's important information. There are 3 main things regarding the brain. Number 1 is the brain stem. That's your basic survival functions. Number 2 is the limbic system. That is the system that processes emotions. Number 3 is prefrontal cortex. That has to do with higher level of thinking. So, a trauma activates a physical reaction, which suppresses the higher brain functions, which activates a survival mode. The brainstem regulate basic life functions such as heart rate and breathing. That's attached to the limbic system. The limbic system reacts to danger and threats. Once we think that there's some kind of danger, the brain activates the body. Now we get that heart race, you probably know this, and the fast breathing. Muscle tension, adrenaline gets released, and we are in a high alert state. In the limbic system, amygdala also plays a role. Amygdala process emotions regarding danger and fear. So, if you survived a trauma, your amygdala is most likely hypersensitive. That makes you a person that in general are very alert, and you react very intense to feelings of danger. Hippocampus is also in the limbic system, and hippocampus has to do with memory. And your memory, if you have this unhealed trauma, are affected. Prefrontal cortex are connected to rational thinking and rational reactions. If you do trauma therapy, you will learn to make decisions made on a calm way. How can I explain this in English? Decisions made calmly and based on a logical and in a balanced way. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm sorry. And you will also learn healthy coping mechanisms. So, the thing is that our brain are not designed to long-term stress. And that will make a person with trauma, someone who has difficulty sleeping and are emotionally dysregulated and are in this state of high danger alert around the clock. The good news is that with trauma therapy, your brain can rewire. It can make new connections when you slowly recover. You can find some videos regarding this where you can see the thing inside the brain. I don't know what it's called. They are rewiring. They are making new connections. It's very fascinating if you want to see it. Yeah. I think that this is great news and very, very fantastic. It gives some sort of hope in the darkness of all of this regarding trauma. So, please promise me that you will find a trauma therapist that connect the psychological things with the emotional things. It's really important to find a good therapist or a coach that knows about the brain and trauma and all the cognitive stuff and knows about having a childhood trauma and everything regarding that, so you can be rewired, so you can reconnect and you can be fully healed. So please find an empathic therapist or coach. Promise me that. Not someone who just read a book or something like that. You need to find someone who's into all the stuff. Also regarding narcissism, if you want to be healed regarding that. Yeah. The thing is that a trauma brain has triggers. I call it a trauma brain. And triggers can be smells, sounds, places. And once you hit a trigger, you are right back to the episode that caused that traumatic pain. So, briefly, I want to talk about triggers because I'm running out of time. But triggers are something that gives you a physical or an emotional reaction. Your brain is overworking itself and your body is probably hypersensitive, and that causes a maximum of stress inside you. And once your whole system thinks that there are a threat coming, you react. So how can you spot these triggers? Well, let me come with some examples here. You can have this suddenly intense feeling of grief or pain or panic or anxiety. You can feel like you're disconnected to yourself or your surroundings. You can have this sudden heart race, or you can be sweating, or you can feel dizzy. You can get intense headaches. You can even shake or feel a bit numb in the body. You can get flashbacks where you relive the traumatic events. You can also have this feeling of not having control over anything, or you can have this feeling regarding not feeling that you can control how you feel or how you react to stuff. The thing is that unhealed trauma has many kind of different triggers, and what I told you here are just a few common ones. Unhealed trauma makes you want to isolate also, and it can give you trouble sleeping. And it can make your relationship with other people very problematic. You can feel alone and misunderstood, and that can lead to substance abuse if you're not careful. Okay, time is running up. Please promise me that you will heal your trauma. Please promise me that. It's never too late. It's never too late to get more balanced and learning new stuff and living a more peaceful and calm life. Yes. So, I'm running out of time. As always, please promise me that you will look into all this regarding trauma if you have trauma. And please also promise me that you will stay safe and take good care of yourself. Thank you for listening. Bye.